So, welcome back, everybody. Today is going to be the first of a new series that we're starting on the Elite Healers Massage Therapy channel, like I had told you in a previous video. Today, we're doing that interview, but we're also going to be calling it something special because I want to start something known as the Solstice Special, where on the solstice, either summer or winter one, I give you a little bit of extra content. I know it really doesn't have anything to do with massage therapy to release it then, but that's a personal preference thing. So this is a double feature special, and one of the things about the Solstice Special means that the solstice is going to be bringing on the winter time and all that winter change that comes with things. So when we're thinking about the winter time, what do we think about that normally happens? Colds. So I'm not the expert in like cold relief and prevention. I like to stick in my lane and to really know exactly what I'm talking about because I don't want to give you any misinformation. That's one of the foundations that we really build on this channel is giving you good, solid information. So one of the things I want to do with all of you today is I want to bring in a specialized speaker, a fellow New Yorker, a fellow practitioner of health in New York City. And I'm going to give you all of his contact information in case any one of you need him for acupuncture. But today, I'm really excited to be bringing to you licensed acupuncturist and doctor of acupuncture in Chinese medicine with his own practice right in Midtown Manhattan, is Jason Pyeatt. Hi, Jason. And thank you for joining us today. I really do appreciate having you on the show and having you along with us.
Thank you, Adam.
So, one of the things that I want to start with is a standard, because I know you, I know who you are and everything, but I want my followers to get to know who you are. So, can you tell us where, you're an acupuncturist, but where you practice and what your practice focuses on?
My practice is in Midtown East area of New York City, 5th Avenue and 31st Street. The focus of my practice, it's really whatever someone wants to bring to the table, whatever someone wants to have worked on, but that could be anything from physical injury and pain to stress, anxiety, depression, trauma, as well as digestive issues, sleep, or anything in between, fertility. So, it's a great medicine that can help a person with any aspect of their life or anything that they can encounter.
And your practice, it's called True Path Acupuncture, correct? Can you tell my people that are watching this where that they would be able to contact you and or follow you?
Yes, so True Path Acupuncture and Wellness. For Instagram, that is True Path Acupuncture. And my website is True Path ACU, so truepathacu.com. So a little bit shorter for the website.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. One of the things is we all know that with the solstice, it means that it's turning into the winter. And when it turns into winter, what's the most common thing that does happen? It is the cold. We see the flu cases start to rise during that time. And with that comes a lot of problems. But 2020 into 2021 is quite a special year with the pandemic still raging out there. So before we get into all that, what I really want to do is start with the foundations in this interview. So you're an acupuncturist, and acupuncturist has had an amazing ability to help with cold prevention, with relief before and during. So one of the things I want to do is get to the heart of this, and I want to ask you, how would you describe acupuncture and its benefits for those who haven't heard of it?
Acupuncture is a medicine which uses acupuncture channels and acupuncture points to tell your body through the nervous system what specific function or action to take to heal itself. A combination of different acupuncture points will be used after a patient has been diagnosed to treat them. It's a beautiful medicine because it tells your body what action to take specifically. There are acupuncture points for everything from insomnia to fertility to even very specific digestive disorders. So, it's something that I love as a medicine because it really just tells a person's body what action to take to heal itself.
Excellent. So one other thing, it takes a big commitment to become a doctor of acupuncture, right? Years and years, and that is really a commitment. Now, what got you interested in becoming an acupuncturist?
For myself, I had been in the Army for 15 years, had a number of injuries, and I had chronic pain for over 4 years. And I had done chiropractic, I had done physical therapy, many other things as well. And what really helped me was acupuncture. I did acupuncture once a week for close to a year. After over 4 years of worsening pain, chronic pain, that really affected even my ability to focus and live a regular life. And for all of that acupuncture, just didn't have any more pain and haven't had pain since. So I decided to go to acupuncture school, which is for the doctorate, actually a 6-year endeavor in my case. So, I'm very grateful that I did it because I can actually help other people, in their journey of healing.
So you take pleasure also in healing people and helping them kind of walk that same path you did?
Exactly.
Now let me ask you, because you said you're not feeling pain, have you become a Superman from acupuncture, or is this just pain related to that? I know it might sound a little funny, but I really think that some of my audience members are actually going to have a question at style.
Well, acupuncture can help with peak performance. If there are people who want to be optimal when it comes to any physical expression of the body, whether it's working out or even lifting weights or even just recovery, or even just like physical pain and injury. Of course, people know that, but it can also help to optimize body function. And that can be physical activity, but it also can be other aspects in life as well too. So.
Oh, excellent. So yeah, quick thing, because it does remind me of this, and this is something I didn't put into the planning of the interview, but that I want to ask you, because a lot of people that tune into the channel on the Elite Healers Massage Therapy channel, they're about athletic recovery, recovering from injury, optimizing their life, and I've noticed also that the following tends to be a lot of men on this channel. So one of the things that I want to ask and speak to you about is, I know personally from experience, but I can't say it as well as you do, is that acupuncture has helped me with physical orthopedic problems, like when I fell off my bike last year, getting treatments to help me. So how, and you can explain it, two-part question, does acupuncture help injuries, and how does it help people recover from injuries?
In the way that it helps someone recover from an injury is thinking of what took place firstly. With physical injury and not being able to see under the skin, or sometimes, if you get an MRI, there could be anything that can happen. And that can be, just whether if it's just pain, maybe just from tightness, soreness, but of course you can also have physical injury, broken bones, adhesions, scar tissue, a list of anything that can physically go wrong. And so in that way, there is pain is related to static aspect of blood and certain substances, the blood not flowing well to that area, as well as the abnormal aspect of tissue that can happen when there's physical injury. So acupuncture itself, acupuncture points are not just used where you have physical pain, but those which can also help improve for the whole body blood flow for the body, as well as specific types of tissue repair. There's even acupuncture points that can be used for helping to strengthen the bones, as well as sinew tissues. But then when there is the aspect of a physical location where there's pain or injury, acupuncture is used to help break up the stasis that is there, to get blood to flow there, dissolve scar tissue or anything else which is bothering you to help you heal from pain. With that, I've had a number of patients who had severe injuries, even a month or two before the New York City Marathon, that were able to run the marathon only because they did the acupuncture treatments.
Yeah. that actually reminds me, and one other thing, just to go a little bit deeper into it, is because you mentioned the sinews, which are the tendons. In case I haven't explained that too much on my channel, so I just want to say that because that's a little less common. But when it comes to that, we look at like strains and sprains, and that's usually the thing that the athlete will suffer that they want to jump back in right away. So just acupuncture, it does help strains and sprains, correct? Like not just the bigger issues that you were mentioning.
Absolutely. I have a patient who saw me this week. This was the patient's second time to ever come into the office. The patient had a very bad sprain, but also even as well had radiation of kind of like nerve pain on the inside of the knee, pain on the shin, and pain on the bottom of the foot. Came in this week for that second treatment and told me the pain was completely gone and they hadn't been able to run for over 10 or 11 weeks. And after the first treatment, they could run. So, so it's great for helping someone get back on the street, as it were.
Yeah. So you see, it's and this is just me kind of speaking to the audience. You see, when you properly take care of your body, you can use something like medical massage combined with acupuncture to help accelerate the results. And I know when I'm talking to everybody and I tell you that massage therapy is the perfect complement to physical therapy as they're recovering from injury, I want Jason to just explain how when you add acupuncture into injury recovery, how that could really help you in that path to recover. So if you could just tell them quickly how it's a great complement to physical therapy and massage therapy when you're recovering from injury, that would be great.
Well, it's all about really getting the blood to flow to that area and break up where there is physical stasis. And so that's, of course, where medical massage is absolutely perfect for helping someone to recover. In that way, as you know, of course, to break up the acid that could be there and the tightness, but also help to heal from real injury. And acupuncture also has a role with that and helps with that too. And so does physical therapy. So if a person combines at least two different therapies, when they're wanting to heal from a physical injury, they'll get the best results. So whether that's physical therapy and acupuncture, or medical massage and acupuncture, or any other two mixed modalities, someone will get the best results with their healing and heal twice as fast.
Nice. That's something I think that we could all benefit from, and why I want everybody who watches this channel to really just be able to understand how to make the most out of their healing process. Because none of us want to be injured, but sometimes it just winds up happening, and to be able to manage that, I think, is a big advantage that you can have. Now,
well, and yeah. Adam, a lot of people try and figure out, should I do which therapy? So they decide, should I get massage? Should I do PT? Should I do acupuncture? But in most cases, people will get the best results if they actually do at least two different therapies.
Yeah, no, I would totally agree with that. Now, one of the things is, if people aren't familiar, I'll just put it up on the screen right now, but when you're looking at acupuncture, those little needles that go into a person, that it's, there's people that have aversions to needles, because they have bad experiences with the doctors or something. Now, I know from experience that it's a little bit different than that. But one of the things that I want to ask you is, do those needles hurt, and how does it work with the needles?
That's typically the first question most people have is, does it hurt? Or people might bring up the fact that they do have a little bit of needle hesitancy. So acupuncture needles themselves are so thin, you can fit over 20 of them into the hole of a hypodermic needle. That's how thin the acupuncture needles are. The needles themselves, they are made by machine, sterilized by a sterilization gas. The first human that ever touches the acupuncture needle is the acupuncturist, and when they're taken out of the patient, just put into a medical waste sharps container and disposed of. So the acupuncture itself, the sensation, sometimes someone might feel a slight electrical sensation every once in a while. So let's just use an example of 10 needles inserted in a person. Maybe one of those needles you might actually feel for like a second, a slight nerve sensation. For one of those needles, also, you might feel slight pinchiness. So not pain, but pinchiness for no more than 2 to 3 seconds, typically 1 second, and then it passes. A lot of patients will be completely surprised when I put an acupuncture needle in them and they don't feel anything at all, because there is this expectation that you're having a needle inserted, there should probably be some aspect of pain, and there's just not. So
Yeah, and there's also a depth thing, right? Where they don't go as deep as like hitting the veins or something, right? Can you just explain that? Because I kind of don't fully understand that one.
well, when it comes to the depth, the needles don't have to go very deep to be effective. Now, a needle will go deeper depending on the body part. So, if a person has an aspect of the piriformis pain or aspect of piriformis in the glute, those needles would go a little bit deeper, but it depends on a patient and that patient's body. So, acupuncture diagnosis, as well as actual insertion of the needle, is based off of every individual themselves. And
Yeah.
so acupuncture needles really don't go that deep. The only time they, again, might go a little bit deeper is in, let's say, the quads or the hamstrings or the glute. And in those muscles, as well as doing sometimes what's called trigger point therapy or motor point therapy, which can be great for someone who works out quite a bit, gets very tight and sore, even has physical injury, because that can actually cause the muscles to have a contraction, to get blood to flow there, and to release a lot of tightness that someone might have.
I'm glad you brought up trigger points because that's actually one of the things that as we move into 2021 that I'm going to get actually in depth and probably do either a 2 or 3 part video just talking about trigger points. So I'm really glad about that. And oh yeah, for everybody watching, those of you who don't know what the piriformis is that deeper glute muscle. If you are not sure, just quickly just watch that video. I'm going to put it right up on the screen or at the end of it, where you learn how to stretch the piriformis. It's that deeper gluteal muscle, and if you click on that video, I'll go really into explaining what it is, so you understand it. But as Jason was saying, they only go deep when it's necessity, but they kind of stay on that superficial level. Now, what is the difference? Because I'm sure that my audience gets it confused or just is not clear on it, but knows there's a difference. But what's the difference between acupressure and acupuncture?
With acupressure, you're of course talking about using your hands, using your fingers to press at acupuncture points. So they're the same points that are utilized in acupuncture with the needles. So now the only limit that there is the number of fingers you have and how close they are to the acupuncture points for acupressure. So think of acupressure as something that can be very direct and targeted for a very specific complaint someone might have. For example, there is an acupuncture point that is very good for headaches, but you can only press that one point with your hands. When it comes to getting acupuncture itself focuses on the root and the branch. So the branch is your symptom. Your symptom is the headache. The root is the root of the problem. What's actually causing the problem? And with acupuncture, you can use a number of different acupuncture channels, needles, or acupuncture points that are targeted to actually resolve the issue and not just give relief. So in many ways, acupressure can give relief, but acupuncture itself can help you not just get relief, but can resolve the issue itself.
That's actually, that's a big difference, and that's why I think it's important that the audience understands, right? So now, let's start kind of transitioning into talking about what probably everyone wants to know so they can get through this winter. I mean, there's going to be a number of things everyone's going to have to do to get through this particular winter, but this is not a politics station, so we're only sticking to the health aspect of everything. But how could we use acupuncture to better take care of ourselves during this upcoming cold season with the virus, the super virus going around?
Well, acupuncture itself can help to boost your immune system and modulate the immune system. Acupuncture in New York State has been deemed essential, so acupuncture practices are allowed to be open and practice. In my own office, for example, there we follow strict COVID aspects for safety. Patients have to sign specific paperwork regarding symptoms and understanding that they're getting treated at this time, as well as temperature is taken, oxygen levels are taken, patients wear masks. There's filtration in the office with ultraviolet light, specific sanitization, and lots of other measures as well, just to keep patients and practitioners safe.
Excellent. So, one of the things is too, it's not just, or you tell me, but is it just like for building up your immunity? Is it just acupuncture, or is there foods? I know some acupuncturists, not maybe all in New York, but like in, let's say, California, a lot of them do herbs and provide herbal treatments. How would all of them work in tandem to create that healthy immunity boost that people would need?
Well, I mean, of course, when it comes to food, the food that we eat becomes the cells of our body, the house that we're made of. And so the quality of the house that you live in really depends on the quality of the food that you eat. There have been studies that pesticide sprayed on food really is quite damaging to good gut bacteria as well as the body overall. And then as well to there's difference of opinion, but as well research and studies that organic food really is a lot better for you. But if someone wants to build the immune system, really focus on fruits and vegetables, foods that are high in polyphenols.
What would some of those be?
Well, I mean, just thinking of something that could help boost the immune system, or even like improve blood flow, like goji berries improve the blood flow. Of course, as we know, ginger helps, to soothe the stomach. But when it comes to the coronavirus, there actually and boosting the immune system, there actually have been some herbs that would be very helpful. For example, astragalus root helps to tonify and boost the immune system. So that's astragalus root. And that could be capsule.
To strengthen, right? Because I'm not sure if everybody knows what that means. I know what it means.
So, yeah, well, to strengthen the immune system. And that would be astragalus root. Now, also, specifically in 2005, there was a research study that showed the one thing in nature that has the strongest ability to help defend and protect someone as something from nature against SARS and SARS-associated coronaviruses is actually licorice. So licorice root would also be very helpful. Licorice root, licorice tea. Someone would also just have to make sure that for them, high blood pressure is not an issue in wanting to too much licorice.
That's a contraindication, right? So that if you have high blood pressure, so you can't do it if you have high blood pressure. I just want to stress that for the people watching.
And I mean, really, that recommendation should come from someone's doctor, because maybe they could consume some licorice root tea or licorice root, but they should be concerned with the levels and also consult with their doctor. They should consult with their physician with that as well. So, and then as well, ashwagandha, which is a bit more of an Ayurvedic type herb, but it's an adaptogenic, which helps the body to adjust and modify as well.
And I'm going to put the spelling on the screen, so anybody you're not 100% sure, and if there's any, if you want to have Jason be your acupuncturist, I am going to put the link in the description. I'm getting towards the end of this, but one thing is we did talk about prevention and everything. What would be the different approach, let's say, and it doesn't have to be the big bad pandemic bug that's going out there, but what could people do to strengthen their immunity if they've already gotten sick, whether it's from the super bug or from like a cold bug or anything like that?
I mean, in that case, for prevention, as well as post recovery, it is crucial to take certain supplements, as well as think of food as nutrition, and as well to help your body to strengthen the immune system, and not just food. And that would be ascorbate vitamin C. That would be your vitamin D3, with vitamin K2, as well as, of course, eating lots of fruits and vegetables. So if someone actively has a cold, you can also throw in oil of oregano, which
Yeah,
is
that's one.
great. Yeah. So oil of oregano is also very helpful. Garlic and many of the other herbs that are just very antiviral or antibacterial. And so probably one of the most antiviral herbs is not, like I mentioned, olive oil, but or olive leaf extract, but actually oil of oregano, which comes just from Greece and Turkey, is probably the strongest antiviral thing a person can take. So if someone starts to feel like they're getting a cold, and especially this time, no one would want to even start to feel like they're getting a regular cold. If someone took vitamin C, vitamin D, as well as oil of oregano, it could help them maybe head things off and maybe even not even get the cold, as it were.
Oh, nice. So, thank you so much. Is there anything that you want to share with the viewers before I have you remind them where you are and how to follow you?
Well, something that might be fun is just to think of some acupressure points that can help to boost the immune system. Of course, I highly recommend going in and getting acupuncture, but if you take a look at your thumb here, and this point right here is called lung 9. Lung 9 is a great point for helping to protect the body, boost the immune system. And then as well, on the wrist, if you just let your finger fall into a spot here, that is Sanjiao 5, which also helps to boost the immune system. And then if someone feels like they're getting sick, large intestine 4 is a great acupuncture point, great acupressure point, and that's also a great point for headaches.
Yeah,
and so,
right on the hand, right?
right here in the hand, and so it's halfway in between, and it's right here. So you can actually take your middle finger and touch Sanjiao 5. Then you can press.
That looks good. I can see it.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
So you're actually you can use these 3 fingers to press and touch all 3 of those points.
Oh, nice. So that's actually super helpful. So it's actually quite handy in trying to prevent that cold. And I did intend that pun. I intend most of my puns. But yeah, no. So thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure to do this interview with you. From Jason of True Path Acupuncture. I want you to now go and plug where everybody can find you, because I want them to know how much of a well-practiced practitioner you are, and I want them to follow you, and I want them to know what you're about, because if they're following Elite Healers Massage Therapy, they're going to benefit from following you as well, because these people want to take care of their bodies. So please tell us where we find you on social media, your website, and how to book with you.
Sure. So for Instagram, that is at True Path Acupuncture. For the website, instead of spelling out the whole word acupuncture, it's just truepathacu.com, True Path Acu. And if a person wants to book, there's actually an ability to book directly from the website, or of course as well, from the website, my email address is there. Someone can then as well see my phone number and just give me a call or send me an email.
Jason, I want to thank you so much, and hopefully we can have you back on at another time for another interview on something relevant.
Thank you, Adam. This was great.
Thank you so much.